All right, so we're here with Danielle DiMartino Booth, the founder of QI Research. What's up? Great to see you. Okay, so there are no other speakers that got off the stage that were like surrounded by everybody wanting to talk to you. First off, really great.
Butterflies and rainbows. Everything I say is so happy.
I mean, but it wasn't at all. But everybody,
I know.
but still, everybody's swarming to you to talk to you. Why do you think that is?
I think I can speak for most Americans and say we're really tired of being lied to, and I don't lie. And it's pretty much that simple. It literally is just data. It's just so much of what's coming out of Washington, D.C., so much of what's coming off of Wall Street is a narrative that they paint.
Yeah.
And people don't want a narrative anymore. We don't want to be treated like we're stupid anymore.
Right.
And I don't go there.
And look, so you talked a lot about, I mean, here, as a loan officer of 15 years, we all have these acronyms. We have a zillion of them. And I think it's over a lot of people's head. I was talking to somebody really on the party bus where you and Barry were freaking nerding out, and I mean, my God,
my graph is better. Yeah.
The conversation you guys were having was just like right over my head. But I mean, actually, it really wasn't. But well, yes, it was between you two. But you guys broke it down into something that's a little bit easier to understand. To go even deeper though with it, I think everybody feels that it's off. You know,
something's not right.
It's just not.
It's not.
There's no way that we have the.
It was never going to be right when the Federal Reserve moved in and hoovered up a third of the mortgage-backed securities market.
Yeah.
I mean, you crush so many natural players that way. You push them out of the market. You artificially inflate mortgage prices. When I was inside the Fed for 9 years, we had a detailed discussion about the fact that if you got mortgage rates down into the twos, you would crush mobility.
Right.
That you would have no inventory one day, and that could be problematic if the economy went into recession and you need people to move. But people feel like they're prisoners in their homes.
Stay right there. There's a question I wanted to ask that I just forgot. Okay. Okay. Millennials are, that's what it was. Okay, so you said that the millennials are the indentured generation.
They're the indentured generation.
I had to look at my notes, like which specific words, why did you say that?
The millennials had a hard time.
I'm a millennial.
They had a hard time coming into the workforce. They had to get through the financial crisis. Too many were coddled by their parents and were not like, hey, I'll pay for 4 years of college and get out. So there are a lot of different factors at play, but when the pandemic came, you made a bad situation worse by giving them so much money. Ugh. And all of a sudden it's like they're like watching Dave Ramsey, and I can be wealthy and I don't have to work anymore, and I can stick it to the boomers, and I can quietly resign in the Great Resignation, work from home, all of these things. And by the way, not pay any of my bills, not pay my rent, not pay my student loans. And you made a situation worse with millennials. A lot of them moved out of the urban areas. They have mortgages for the first time, homeowners insurance, auto loan payments for the first time. They made too much money to qualify for student loan forgiveness, and they took more debt on while they weren't paying their student loans right now, and they're mad. They're really, really mad, and they're stuck.
Right.
They're financially frozen.
It's a disaster.
It is a disaster.
So okay, kind of just to pivot onto another topic. I think Barry described you as equal opportunity, bashing Republicans and Democrats. If they're a politician, you're basically bashing them. On that same note, look, it's an election year.
That doesn't make me any less fiscally conservative, because I happen to like my children and I want them to have grandchildren. So why do we keep trying to stick it to future generations by spending like drunken sailors, regardless of the party?
How does the election, how does it affect how reports are coming out to the public, and then also how does it affect where rates are going? I think that's the deeper question that most loan officers want to know.
I mean, we don't have an hour to discuss this, but let's just say that for different reasons than what the public understands, Jerome Powell wants to keep interest rates higher for longer. He wants to reduce the size of the Fed's footprint in the U.S. Treasury market. So he's going to look for any false data that he can find and hide behind it in order to justify staying higher for longer. And what that means when you've got an administration right now that is clearly cooking the data.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not pretending anymore. You don't have 12 months of revisions and create all these government jobs. You don't have a birth death adjustment that fabricates everything. Again, at some point, they're just insulting us.
Right.
But it doesn't matter if Jay Powell's going to hide behind the data to keep interest rates higher. And that's where the rubber really hits the road, because American families who could benefit from lower interest rates are not.
Right.
Because Jay Powell's a man on a mission.
Right.
And unfortunately, he knows that because of his predecessors, Greenspan, Bernanke, Yellen, that he has the lesser of two evils type of a choice to try and further some of his goals. That means that somebody's going to be a victim in the pathway of him getting to those goals.
So election has no effect.
The election could have a tremendous effect, but not as long as Jay Powell's in office. Are you really going to get the central bank to go haywire and get back to the zero bound and resume quantitative easing? He is a man who is patently against doing that.
Right.
The so-called dot plot ends with the Fed funds rate with a 2 handle in front of it, not 0, 2. So if we're trying to get back to a normal interest rate environment, there's going to be a price to pay, and you're going to have to pay Jay Powell to get there.
One last thing, you talked about how the initial jobless claims have been off by, I forget the number, but it's like a staggering amount for 12 months. Everyone has been revised.
No, that's non-farm payrolls.
I'm sorry, yes.
All of 2023. So, and we'll wait and see where December falls, because there's still a second revision coming. But the point is, the United States hasn't created a full-time job since February 2023. Not a single full-time job.
It's insane.
It is insane.
It's insane.
But it helps explain why people are having such trouble making ends meet. And by the way, if you're a gig worker, you're not even eligible to apply for unemployment benefits.
It's absolutely insane. And in closing, Danielle, if somebody wanted to, I guess, reach out to you or to sign up for your service to get this type of,
DiMartinoBooth.substack.com. We publish 8 times a week. I write as off the rails as I speak.
And Barry Habib's a big supporter of yours, of course.
Love me some Barry.
And is learning from you. It was cool to see your guys' interaction.
I learned from him. It's got to be mutual.
Danielle.
Nothing's free.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was great.
Take care.